Welcome back to another episode. So, when we left off, we were at war with the Centomeroi and some of their defensive pacts and vassals, things like that. And overall, the war is going very well for us. We got off to a very strong start. We took out a bunch of their ships. We go destroy this frontier outpost. And the end is actually in sight. So we have the, we're getting 4 planets from this war. We've got several that are terraforming and a few primitives that we can annex. And you can see we're only 11 planets away. So we are very, very close to being just done with this entire playthrough, which is a little exciting. And there it is. We finished taking their stuff. So now to get our economy stable again, we need to go ahead and add all of these to the sector. You can see there's some serious orbital structures in this area. Alright. And we don't need all of this stuff up north anymore. And so we will migrate all of our forces south. And now that we are doing well here, you see we have to do the integration campaigns again. And the integration campaigns, as far as I'm aware, don't scale in cost with the amount of population or territory or anything like that. To my knowledge, they just have a fixed cost. Nah, I can't really justify spending that influence right now. Not until we finish integrating the Royal Sagittari. They are eating up what little influence we have, more or less. Do this. But yeah, whatever. Let me just give these guys a new destination. It's not really that big of a deal. And we can see we also finished terraforming another world. We're so close. But I need influence right now. I need to influence something fierce. But if we do need to, we will be also able to fight the Righteous League again before long as well. And if we only need to take one planet, then like 1 or 2 planets, we won't need anywhere near as much war score, which will make the war much quicker. And make sure our construction ship is nice and busy. And here you can see there's no station in there, but it won't let me build one. That's because the sector is actually already working on it, and so I don't need to. So if you ever see that, that's what's going on. And just for giggles, you can see the sector's sitting on 4,500 resources or minerals, which at the rate that it's gaining them leads me to believe that it's actually been very busy developing. And I'm quite alright with that. A busy sector leads to a profitable empire. And as I mentioned, I prefer having my whole empire as one giant sector. I just feel like it makes it easier to manage, and you can have one governor governing pretty much the whole empire. He doesn't govern my core worlds, obviously, but I can apply the governor's bonuses to the vast majority of my sector with no effort. nice and profitable sector. And so for the moment, we're basically just in a waiting game. We need this integration to finish. We've got colonies to build, primitives to annex. I can actually, on this contact list, I don't really care about these people anymore. So I can just ignore all of them. And get this. I think Slurpinor is the first one on the list that's in my space. But I'll go down and check once I'm actually ready to start relieving them of their burdens. The burden of governorship. He closed his borders with me. That means the truce is up with the Righteous League, as I mentioned a couple of times. You can keep track of it by date and all that, and you can actually kind of get the jump on it. But basically, as soon as they can, the AI will close its borders with you, and so you don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to it. And I'll get this technology because it's cheap. But I did just get the side jump drive, which means, of course, that all of my ships now need side jump drives. Because you can see the normal jump drive uses 10 power, has a cost of 30. The side jump drive uses 10 power, cost of 30, and increases range. So there's no reason at all to not use side jump drives over regular jump drives. So we're just gonna go update all of our blueprints real quick. And then you...
Ships upgraded. Ships upgraded. Construction complete. Ships upgraded.
And the integration finished, so we pause. Get rid of his garbage. All of his garbage civilian ships. And add what used to be his space to the sector. Nice and easy. And now you can see we have a good surplus of influence being generated. Still cleaning up wormholes. But, yeah, just hasn't updated yet. Let's see. I need to do these integration campaigns and then I will start on the primitives. Add this to the sector, add this to the sector, add this to the sector. That is an unexplored system. I did not think there would be many of those left. Alright, well maybe it's not that unexplored. The science ship didn't give me the option of exploring it. But yeah, you can see we are getting a tremendous amount of monthly influence now. And so we'll be able to start doing all sorts of interesting things with it. But we do need to siphon off some to suppress these factions. It would be some sort of, I guess, delicious irony if, after all my complaining of the AI's inability to manage rebellions, I went and had rebellions against me. But that's not going to be a thing. One of the other nicer parts about being collectivist is that my fleets, or my factions are also cheaper to suppress. And upgrading the way I just did is actually colossally inefficient. What would be ideal is to kind of move your ships all over the place first. That way they can all go to different spaceports to upgrade, since there's not much reason not to. When you upgrade, it doesn't alter any of the conditions attached to the spaceport. Like in my spaceports, for example, I have the Fleet Academy and the engineering bay. But if you were to upgrade in a spaceport that didn't have those things, you wouldn't lose the benefit or anything like that. Alright, so I'm gonna handle that. And that's really just kind of doing them a favor, so they don't get bombarded with their primitive technologies. They don't understand how bombarding even works. This faction's getting uppity too. Okay. And I'm actually gonna stage, I think, in Darken. Yeah. No primitives there. And again, this was the Dreadnought, which is permanently stuck with Warp Drive 3. I can't do anything about that. I might have been able to get around it by not repairing it until after I had Jump Drive, but I want to say when I made the decision to repair it, the Jump Drive hadn't popped up. I think it popped up very shortly after. Alright. Ah, there we go. Gene Warrior armies. Now that I don't really need them. Ooh, a Galactic Power Surge. I wonder what that could be. Instruments across the Unity have suddenly picked up a subspace power surge of massive proportions coming from somewhere inside our galaxy. Our scientists are struggling to come up with an explanation for this event. Nothing of its like has ever been recorded. The exact point of origin is yet to be identified, and we're still in the process of analyzing available data. Yeah. Yeah, about that. So I'm going to slow this down, because I know what this is. Yeah. Can't find the exact point of origin, my ass. I know where it is. And my combat fleets and blockade fleets. I'm going to send the combat fleets in first. Feeding ground reach, prey bountiful, at long last we shall feast. What? And you can see the AI is taking it pretty seriously. Even all of these people who I've been at war with all these times are opening borders so that I can go fight them. But, you know, they're in my space already, so I don't need them to open borders. And like all crises in this game, if you really want to deal with the crisis correctly, you do not want to sit on it. You want to respond quickly and violently. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to plan on some casualties here. Yeah, you see I'm losing some cruisers already. And a couple battleships have already gone down. But respond aggressively and violently. If this were on the other side of the world, and I weren't so close to winning, I'd let them live a little longer to make it more interesting. But I'm very close to this campaign being done. This thing's just a giant health sink. It'd be really nice if they would shoot the enemy ships. Dimensional portal destroyed. And it looks like one final fleet popped through.
Situational.
So this event, because as I put it down real quick, there wasn't really a whole lot to cover. These guys here use a lot of shields and very little armor, which kinetic weapons happen to be really good against, which is part of the reason I cleaned them up pretty quickly. And they create a dimensional portal. I want to show some fleet combat stats here real quick. So you can see damage to shields, damage to armor was 0. They had no armor at all. The species there creates those dimensional portals, and they then use dimensional anchors to expand their territory. They will gradually expand and do all sorts of nasty crap across the galaxy. And their weapons are super good, which I'm actually going to try and get some of them right now. But, yeah, I don't play games with crises that pop up in my space. If they had popped up halfway across the galaxy, I would have let them expand first. But I'm extremely close to being done, and I'm just not going to play their game. And I've got all 3 of my science ships moving into salvage. But you saw, though, I lost about 18k fleet power to destroy 150k of theirs. It's, these ships work. Especially when I get the advantage like I had, where I just more or less happened to hard counter their design and everything. But I think what I'm going to do is, instead of doing the integration campaigns, I'm going to invade primitives and settle planets. So yeah, I've got another planet to settle. It's colonizable, Unity, 80%. Qtum. Yeah, land there. Ziff, I already have a guy on the way. This world is where? Ah, yeah, that one should already be terraforming. Ah, good. Extra dimensional weaponry. So I'll have that very, very soon. And so you can see a complete fleet should have 52 cruisers. This fleet has 23. A little bit missing. But, so you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Research complete. Debris analyzed.
And I've now acquired extra dimensional weaponry. So now, extra dimensional weaponry is actually, I like using the medium-sized version of it. It is the matter disintegrator, which, if we compare it to, get rid of some of the clutter. Alright, so the Gauss cannon has 72% accuracy, 30% tracking, 65 range. The matter disintegrator has 60 range, 75% tracking, 30 accuracy. So slightly better accuracy. Same tracking. The cooldown is about the same. The damage per day ends up actually being lower than the Gauss cannon, but it gets 50% armor penetration. The 50% shield penetration I kind of consider to be a little bit of a bad thing, because it means you start dealing damage to hull and armor before their shields are down. But 50% armor penetration on a medium weapon is incredible. The only one that has better armor penetration is the plasma, which is much worse on all of the other statistics. I'm a big fan of the matter disintegrator. That is a nasty, nasty weapon. And I have it. The other empires will eventually get it by salvaging my wreckage if it comes that far. But for the moment, I'm the only one who has it because I'm the only one who fought the extra-dimensional invaders. So I'll send that down. Alright, so I've got one cruiser on the way. So that'll put me at 32, and I need 52? Yeah. So 4, 5. Alright, so that'll put me at 42 cruisers. And I'm actually going to go ahead and send my fleets to all upgrade, or my combat fleets at least. My blockade fleets will lose numeric power. You can see they're 38 and 19 right now, but they will actually gain increased efficiency. Like their effectiveness will be greater, even though they will appear to lose power. And that's just a shortcoming of the formula by which fleet power is calculated. 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that'll be all the cruisers that I need. And then I need 5 more battleships. I'll just go ahead and queue them up. Or I'll hold off on queuing them up until I can actually queue them all up. Alright, so now let's go back and take a look at the primitives. See if we have any of them that we can help embrace the one true empire. Yep, Slurpanora was the first one on the list. They're in Ziph. So we send transports to say hello. Then you guys are not in my space. You guys are not in my space. These guys are though. Send transports to enlighten them. Let's see.
Colony established. Enemy planet secure.
Our weapons must appear to be magic to them. You're damn right. And we go ahead and embark. That is already handled. These guys are not in my space. These guys are in my space. Let's go introduce them to the galaxy. Bam. And how about you? Ah, yes. Spaceports are finishing. I'm gonna wait for them to all group up. You can see that this is actually a pretty big refit, switching all the weapons on my cruisers. But that's alright. I don't really need to be efficient. Nobody's at war with me, nobody's threatening war with me. So I don't need to be terribly efficient. I just need to get the job done. Yeah, look at that. They're just getting run over. And there it is. Domination victory. So, thank you for watching. I hope you've been enjoying the series, but I'm going to go ahead and call it an end. Let's look at the overall... Oh, wow. I'll be damned. The Sagittarian Confederacy actually out-researched me. But, didn't out anything else me. Alright, so, thank you for watching the series. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good one. Thank you.